Hello, it is Krystal Racquel and I'm back again with another video, 2 in 1 day. And once again, take a look at my other video if you have any questions about where I've been, why, and if you notice anything different about my appearance. Go back to that video, then come back to this one, okay? Okay, so I'm refreshed. So happy to be on with you all. So this video is going to be very important for you. This video is about an issue that sometimes people have in dating, women in particular. Sometimes they wonder, how can I keep someone's interest? Someone will be interested in me for a little bit and then they'll move on. Or how do I prevent someone from trying to kiss me on a first date, second date, or whenever before you are interested in touching lips with someone? It may seem like those two different ideas are unique, but they're very related, which is why I'm putting those both together. So the first part, it really depends on the reason why it seems like the person is losing interest. So if you're a woman, well, I've spoken before about how prior to getting married, I was dating 3 individuals for a couple months. In terms of keeping someone's interest, as a woman, you have to be engaging. I spoke about that before. You have to be engaging. You have to capture the person's attention. You have to be kind. You have to be firm. You shouldn't be like coming off like a play type of girl. You also have to be, I said friendly and all those kinds of things. But you also want to make sure that you're being feminine, you're not overtaking the conversation. And one thing for sure, you want to ask the man questions about himself. You could be making big bucks. You could be a high-level manager. You don't need to be talking about all those things that you're doing. Some of you may think, oh, you're setting women back, but no. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. When I was dating, I wasn't so focused on what I'm doing. One thing I actually tell ladies to do is, if you are a manager somewhere, like in, like a corporate type of role, or even if you're working like a nurse in healthcare and things like that, I do not recommend you reveal that information up front. Let's say you meet somebody online and they say, oh, what do you do? Let's say you're a nurse or you're a nurse practitioner or something like that. I would recommend you say, oh yeah, I work in healthcare. If they, ask more questions, like, oh yeah, I help patients. I work at a hospital. Leave it at that. Normally the person is not going to assume you're a nurse, because if you were a nurse, you probably would have said it. But if they outright ask you if you're a nurse, that's going to be up to you whether you divulge. But I say try to limit that information. Don't go into too much details, because first of all, the man that's for you is not going to be so concerned about your finances in the first place. Also, the man starts saying stuff like, oh, big money, huh? You must be big money. I wouldn't recommend you continue with that person, because there are a lot of men who, when you make a certain amount of money, or when they think that you're financially set, that would make them more interested in you. But we all know that the role of a man and woman, according to God, as written in the Bible, the man is the provider, protector. The woman is, the caregiver, the one who has the babies and stuff like that. And of course, there's the women do work in the Bible. Nothing wrong with that. However, the man is the primary provider. So if he is looking at you based on at your income, move on. And ladies, I know you're proud of your career. There's something wrong with that. You should be proud of yourself and what you've accomplished. If you keep seeing me looking over here, it's because I'm watching my cat. I don't know what she's doing. She's doing a lot of mischief, just moving around, But anyway, you should be proud of yourself. But you don't want to give too much, don't give too much away. Talk about your pride in your career when you're talking with your girlfriends and your family. Do that, but not when you're on a date, because one reason why someone might lose interest is if they feel like you're being kind of masculine, right? If you're just talking about, there's nothing wrong with doing well in a career, but if you're, the man wants to feel like he can take care of you. So if you're like talking about everything you've done, all of your accomplishments, everything you've done in your career, it can cause him to feel a little bit intimidated. That's the word. And obviously you want a man who's a strong man and things like that, but at the same time, it's just the way we're wired differently. So I suggest, to keep someone's attention, a man's attention, make sure you're asking him questions about himself. I remember when I was dating one person, not my husband, he mentioned, he was like, you know, I really love that you know how to have a conversation, and you seem really like interested in, you know, what I'm saying. Men like that. You know, you should be interested in what they're saying. Do not give them any leeway if they're saying anything rude or disrespectful or inappropriate. You know, you have to be mindful, be firm. But, you know, you want to be interested in them, ask them questions about themselves. Men do like that. So let's say you've worked on that, right? You worked on not being overbearing and just talking about yourself and all your accomplishments and everything like that. That's to, you know, make sure you keep their interest. But then of course, on the flip side, like I said, do not be giving so much information about your career. If they ask what you do, you know, let them know. One thing I did before, like this wasn't with someone that I dated, but it was someone that like was inquiring online to try to talk to me. They asked what I did. At the time I was doing like a managerial work, but as a manager, I deal with clients, and you know, I was interfacing with clients, but also, what do you call it? Temporary workers. And I told him, when he asked what I did, I said, oh, I work in customer service. As soon as I said that, it seemed like he wasn't interested, which made me very happy. So that just tells you, just use those, I don't want to say tactics because that's not really what it is, but you want to be wise. The Bible talks about being wise, right? So be as wise as a serpent. This is going to help you, because if a man is not interested in really your career and stuff, okay, it's fine if a man is not looking for someone who is grown and doesn't work. Unless you're living with your parents and you're in school or a student, you should be doing something with your life, whether it's having a business, whether it's, you know, working a 9 to 5, whatever schedule you have, you should be working. If you don't work, I can see how a man would think that's a red flag. He would think somebody's taking care of you who's not your parents. If you don't live at home, maybe you have your own apartment somewhere, he's going to wonder, why doesn't she work? That's very strange. And of course, he's not going to probably get to the depth of it, but it will be kind of weird if you don't work. But yeah, other than just flat out not working, I don't think a man who is interested in being a provider for you and achieving his biblical role, I do not see him being so concerned about your work, and he absolutely should not. I always base it back to Bible stuff, right? The man, his main focus about you as a woman, he should be focused on your character. Are you going to be a good wife? Are you going to be able to help raise children? Are you someone that he would want to be the mother of his children? Things like that. And of course, he wants to be attracted to you. He wants to, you know, see if you're healthy. There's nothing wrong with wanting someone who is healthy. Those are going to be the top things, I would assume. And it's okay if he is from a certain area. Let's say he was raised affluent, an affluent environment, like middle class, upper middle class, things like that, or wealthy. And maybe he wants someone who, maybe he has education. He wants someone who also has that education because he feels like you have more in common. They do say, there's studies that prove that it is better to have somebody on your same educational level. So those things are not wrong for him to be looking at. However, if he's looking at your financial status because he wants to see how you can contribute to the house or what you can do in terms of having a 50-50 home where you pay half the bills and he pays half the bills, you don't want that type of person. And I'm telling you this because I'm talking about biblical base. Every relationship is different. Sometimes people decide to do a 50-50 thing, that's up to them. That's okay. That's what you want to do. However, remember what usually happens. Usually what happens is the woman ends up bearing the children. It's really like, what should happen is a woman should be able to have her child, and take some time off as the child grows, let herself heal up. There's a lot of women who they are forced to go right back to work because they're doing that 50-50 thing. So the baby should be able to be with you. Some people don't even have have parents, the grandparents of the new baby, who are even close to either on the male side or the woman's side. So then they have to go to daycare at a young age. Does that sound reasonable? No. And a lot of countries do not work like the United States does. So those are all the factors that you need to think about. It's not just about love. It's about what is going to allow you to walk into your call as a woman of God. And, you have to, do your role. Your role is you want to be caring. You want to make sure you're, caring for your children. If you've decided to be the person who's going to be like cleaning, I personally think women are better at doing a lot of things at once, like cooking, cleaning, laundry. It comes easier to us. But yeah, just be mindful, because a man who's really looking to do his role is not really trying to see how much money a woman makes. Like, oh, nurse, big money, mama. You should run, okay? You should run. So that's why I say limit the information that you give. It's not lying. You don't know this person. You don't have to give all the information. Even in the Bible, I can't remember who it was. There was a man and woman, they were married, and I believe the wife was very good looking, and they came across some man. I can't remember the full details. I have to go back and look in the Bible, and I'll try my best to put it in the description which Bible story I'm talking about. But they came across a man, and I believe the man thought the woman was attractive. So I think he was asking about her. And then the man's actual husband, I think he said that's his sister, or that, I'm her brother. Because he was scared that they would try to kill him to be with her. I think later on they found out the truth and things like that. But not saying it was good to lie, but even in that scenario, like, the Bible didn't say the man was a horrible man for withholding that information. I think it was just that he probably didn't just trust that God would help them. But, it's not wrong when you don't give information. I would consider you, I don't call anybody stupid, but it is kind of stupid to think that you can just share all your information with people out of honesty. And then women, we do talk a lot. We talk too much, because men are not sharing all their deepest, darkest secrets with you. The only being that you should be sharing all your secrets with, because they already know all your secrets, is God. You have to be honest with your spouse and things like that. But there's no reason to be revealing stuff about you. You don't have to give your full government name to people that you don't even know like that, especially from a woman's perspective. So yeah, just be mindful of those type of things. And, as I was saying, you have to, be engaging when you're getting to know an individual. He wants to see that you're kind. You don't want to be somebody who's just boring. And if you feel like it's hard for you to, be pleasant and, talk to them and say things to them like, oh, really? What about you? So if they were to ask you like, oh, like, what do you do for work? And let's say you're actually on a physical date in person. And let's say you're like a manager somewhere, or, let's keep it in like a managerial space, something in corporate. On an actual date, and they could ask what you do. You say, yeah, like I work with clients, and the industry is whatever, right? The industry is health, or the industry is finance. And they'll say, oh, do you like it? You say, yeah, like I really enjoy what I do. I've been doing it for the past year and a half. What about you? I know you mentioned that you work in human resources. What's that like? Then they'll go into depth. Then you can continue asking questions about them, and they're not going to really focus so much on you. They're going to enjoy that you are asking questions about them as a man. So that's a way to kind of avoid talking too much about yourself. And one thing that I found is, when I was dating the three individuals, they would ask me a lot of questions, or I would ask them a lot of questions about themselves, and they liked that. That kept the conversation going. You don't want to just be sitting there like a dead animal, dead fish, just like, okay, yeah, I've been working there for a year. Yeah, and you? Okay. Oh, boring, right? That's gonna make somebody run away. They're not gonna be interested in you. One, and I think I told you this before, to keep interest, make sure you look like your photos. If you met the person online, you put yourself together well, have your makeup done, and things like that. You shouldn't be posting any pictures of you. Let's say you gain like 50 pounds. You should not be posting pictures of you before you gain the 50 pounds. They should be recent photos, just like you would expect from them. No pictures with any filters. Absolutely not. Let's be real here. You know what filters are doing? It's to make you look more traditionally, like make all your features look kind of traditional, or it kind of like pumps up your lips, make your nose smaller, makes your face thinner. Don't do that. It's not, I don't recommend it. Actually, no, not even I don't recommend it. It's just wrong. Post yourself as you are. So yeah, that's a way to avoid men losing interest on dates. But then also, let's say you're like, well, it's just difficult for me because I find it hard to, be smiley and feminine. And when I say smiley, I don't mean like smiley flirtatious, meaning having your shirt zipped down, showing all your cleavage all the way down there, wearing a short mini skirt, then laughing, touching, all those type of things. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying being a pleasant person, know who you are. And if you say, well, you have difficulty being feminine, being, pleasant, I always say that comes down to a confidence issue. And I'm not going to give you a suggestion if you lack confidence about how to date. I'm going to tell you that it's not time for you to date. I don't think everybody needs therapy. If you would like to get therapy or coaching, as many of you know, I am a certified life coach. However, if you feel like you don't have confidence, it's not time for you to date, because you're gonna get taken advantage of, or you're just not gonna have success after your first, second dates. So it's a waste of your time. I'm sure you don't want to be getting ready, getting all dolled up and going on dates. No, you're not splitting the bill, so let's not even go there. But I know you want to be getting dolled up, going on these dates, and then they're just all going to be unsuccessful. You want to make sure you're healed. You want to make sure that you are ready to date and have confidence. If you don't have confidence in yourself, figure out what the problem is. Seek God in prayer. If you need coaching or counseling, go forward and do that as well. A lot of people are doing therapy nowadays, and it's a lot of people, when they are looking for a therapist or even like a coach, looking for somebody who would have an unbiased opinion, or somebody who's maybe an expert in the issue that they may be having, who they can kind of bounce off of. And when it comes to the coaching aspect, it's usually, the client is the one that's really going to come to the answers or the solutions, and it's really the coach that kind of guides you there and explains what they're seeing and hearing based on the conversation that you're having. So yeah, if you lack confidence, it's not time for you to date at all. And I know I'm directing this video mainly towards women, but some of this applies to men as well. So it's not like it can't apply. Men and women are completely different. But I would say, just since we're on the topic, men, don't be asking too many questions about the woman's career, and trying to get specific too much about her role. It's probably just the first date. Just let her reveal information when she wants to. And honestly, on the dates, I never even brought up like my educational level. I never really talked, I think, about when I went to college. And I'm very far along in my academic career, I guess you can say. So yeah, it wasn't something that I felt compelled to provide in terms of information. That's the thing. A lot of women, we're more detailed, so like to just talk and blab and blab and blab. But sometimes, let's say a woman is not confident in herself, whether it's her appearance, whether it's her just something about her that she's not confident in. It could be her personality. So she will try to leverage her education or her career, her economic status, her social status to try to get the man to be interested in her. And you don't have to do that. Just come to the table as you are and, you know, be confident in who you are without all that. Yes, if you wear makeup, wear that makeup, make sure that face is beat, make sure your hair is done. I mentioned this may be the first time some of you are hearing this, but I mentioned when I was doing dating, I would wear my hair natural, or I had photos of me natural as well. And I also had my hair with some weave sometimes. So it was, you know, I had both. And it, you know, it also opens your options just in terms of that too. I know the video's not about that, but this is just a side note. I recommend, you know, looking versatile. Ladies, if you're African American and you only have your hair in weaves on your page, you're going to be attracting a certain type of guy. I am someone, I love God. I'm a Christian, as many of you know, and I believe God made us how he made us, right? So you don't want someone who wouldn't be okay with you having naturally tightly curled hair, coarse hair. You know, you don't want somebody who they're reaching out to just because they see you with the weave. You can like your weave all you want, but mind you, my hair wasn't like this. My hair was like defined curls. Like I would use more products, you know, but you should have your hair. You should also be able to wear your hair natural. That is going to help you attract even more people. And I know a lot of us, if you're a Black woman, a lot of us, we want just a Black man, but be open, you know. It's okay if that's what you want. It's okay if you're a white person and you just want a white man, or a white man and you just want a white woman, or Asian wanting an Asian, Hispanic wanting Hispanic, even though Hispanic is not a race, Indian wanting Indian, Arab wanting an Arab. That's okay, because there's certain things culturally that you can relate on. But just keep in mind, there's also people who were raised around people from your culture. So, you know, like for instance, like if you weren't raised in an urban environment and you're a Black person, you likely have been around a lot of white people if you're like all your life, if you weren't raised in this urban city, right? So you can relate to people of different groups and races. It's not like you're someone who was just raised. Nothing's wrong with this, mind you. So these are some of the best people that I've met, people from the hood actually. But if you were just raised in the hood and you were just around that environment, you know, you probably would work best with somebody who's also from the hood or from your same ethnic group from the hood. But if that's not your case, be open. And one thing that I'm saying in terms of that, while I'm bringing this up, is in terms of the hair aspect. Don't just put your hair in a weave, even if that's what you prefer, although you should not prefer wearing someone else's hair on your head. I recommend having, I'm not saying natural like this because like I said, it's not defined, okay? This is not, I don't have a lot of products in it today, but have a couple pictures with your hair natural. You're going to attract different people like that. No offense, there's a certain group of people who maybe don't like, there's a certain type of person who doesn't necessarily like your hair naturally as it grows out of their head. So that person could be from your own race, it could be from another race. So in order to prevent them reaching out to you, have a couple of your natural hair. And as I mentioned, there were 3 individuals who I ended up dating. And I will be honest, before I get into that, before I expand on that, the people that are reaching out to me, actually, when I added pictures of me with my natural hair, as I was wearing it mostly natural, like for a period of time, I got a lot of, or I started receiving less messages from people of my own race. I started getting a lot of messages from Hispanic men when I had my natural pictures up. Just throwing that out there. And some of you know, I think I mentioned this before, that the 3 individuals that I was dating, one was Black, one was a Hispanic, more on the white side, and then the other was my husband, which is a Hispanic who looks to be like on a mixed type of look, closer to the white end. However, both of his parents are black and their complexion is like a brown skinned black person in the United States. So me, I think I'd be like in the middle, right? So they're browner, a couple shades darker than me. So yes, so I guess you could say one was a black Hispanic, even though they don't look black whatsoever. My husband. So my point is, make sure you're presenting yourself in a good way, but then you also have to be you're looking for character, right? People can like what they like, but if someone doesn't have a preference for your natural hair texture as it grows out of your head, you might not either. But I highly recommend that you post who you are naturally. I'm not gonna get into it too much time, but back in the day, like when I was maybe like 20, is when I stopped like getting my hair relaxed. And it was just because I was like, wait a minute, why would I not wear my hair? Like, this is my hair, it grows like that. God made my hair like this. Why would I prefer to have fake hair or have my hair straight when it's not naturally like that? And honestly, now as a person who wears my hair naturally most of the time, I do not like really when my hair is straightened. I just think it looks very flat. I love the fullness of my natural hair, and nothing's wrong with anybody having straight hair. I think it's beautiful. I wear weaves. I'm probably gonna have a weave in the next couple months, but I think everybody should be proud of how they were born, and you actually give people power over you when you actually make it to where others are now perceiving you as someone who's not confident in what they have. Like, oh, look at that person. They have to put weave in their hair, or they have to put a straight hair on because they want their hair to look like mine. So my hair's straight. So that girl, she cannot wear her own hair. That hair is not nice. That's why she has a fake one on. You don't want to give people that opportunity. So be proud of who you are. Nothing wrong with wearing weaves. Like I said, I wear them sometimes. I haven't worn braids in a while, but I think I'm probably going to get braids in a couple months as well. But yeah. Anyway, so hopefully that helps you in terms of how to be engaging and how to not have a man lose interest in you. But of course, the other scenario is it's good if they lose interest in you. Let's say they're looking for someone who will sleep with them on the 5th date or 3rd date. Then after, you don't do that, they stop talking to you. That is completely fine. That's not a reason for you to be wondering how to keep someone's attention, okay? That's perfect. Those are the people that you want to weed out, And okay, so now back to the second topic. The second topic that I wanted to talk to you about is how do I prevent a man from trying to or moving forward to kiss me when you're not ready? Don't kiss anybody unless you're dating them exclusively and you're serious with them as a boyfriend, girlfriend. No need to be doing that. There's plenty of people who are living for Christ and they don't even kiss until their wedding day. There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually wonderful. So it's your choice what you want to do and what you can handle. My point is, let me explain something to you. So if someone, you first of all, make sure you're like, you're building your relationship with God as you're going on dates. And it's very helpful, I mentioned before, to date multiple people because that actually helps you to not put your eggs in one basket. This is for women only, not men. Men are different because men are the chaser. They go after what they want. They are the pursuer. They find what they want and conquer it. That's usually one thing. But in terms of a woman, you are the one that people are going after. You are so good that there's going to be multiple men that are interested in you. And then you have to make your choice. So my point in saying this is when you go on dates with somebody, like I said, don't wear anything super revealing that's going to make someone perceive you in a way. Don't show any cleavage whatsoever, especially not on a first date. Don't do that. No short skirts. The highest any of your dresses or skirts should be on a date is maybe like 1 inch above your knee. Nothing short, nothing skin tight on a first date. You're on an interview, so you're trying to, check them out and you want to dress presentably. Whatever outfit you wear, like, of course, the occasion matters and the style of clothing matters. What you're wearing, if necessary, you should be able to walk into a workplace or a church. I'm not saying a church that wears suits, okay? you should feel comfortable walking into a church, not feeling like you're scantily clad or like you're showing too much skin. Of course, if it's summer, like obviously like spaghetti straps are okay, but you probably wouldn't wear that to church. But just for the most part, what you're wearing, you should feel comfortable like walking into a place like a church. Of course, if it's spaghetti straps, that's completely fine to wear on a date if it's hot and stuff like that. But you don't want to show too much skin, no breasts. And if you are going to like a tank top or something like that, just to even it out, you want to try to like not wear anything short on the bottom. Or if you're going to wear long sleeves, then it's nice to probably wear like something that like shows a little bit leg, like maybe like an inch above your knee, something like that, just appropriately. But anyway, that's the first thing to avoid people trying to kiss you. Of course, if you're nice and engaging, there's going to be somebody that wants to kiss you. Definitely don't ever kiss anybody on the first date. Do not kiss anybody on the second date. And this doesn't matter if you're dating multiple or if you're dating one person, but definitely if you're dating multiple, that's just nasty. There's no need to be kissing multiple people like that. That's ridiculous. But let's say you're on a first date and you're really nice. The guy really likes you. You're beautiful. You take care of yourself. Your skin is looking nice. You have nice makeup on. It looks very feminine. And your hair is looking good. Your outfit looks beautiful. You put on a little heel. And the man thinks you're beautiful and he loves the conversation that you've had. He's likely not going to be trying to kiss you if you've set yourself up as somebody who's firm and confident in yourself, the way you behave with him, and you haven't tried to touch him. That's another thing. Don't touch anybody. Do not let them hug you when they first walk up to you when you're on a date. Do not hug them. Do not touch them. Remember, this is like an interview. Are you going to hug somebody on an interview? No, you're not. Don't hug them. Keep some distance, at least a foot or two of space. You can be nice, but don't be overly nice. That's when people start thinking like, oh, okay, I can kiss her. I can do this. So don't do that. Keep that space between you on the entire date, and they're unlikely to try to kiss you because you haven't given them indication that you want to kiss them, And they should also be aware of your faith. If you're a Christian, if they know you're a Christian, they're not even going to really probably try that. But let's say, you know what you're supposed to be doing, you haven't touched them and things like that. It's coming on a second date, and you just feel like they're interested in you and that they want to kiss you. Keep in mind, a lot of people are watching podcasts or people who are giving them advice. This is for men and women. So maybe a man watched something and it says, oh, if a girl likes you, she will allow you to kiss her on a second or third date or something like that. That doesn't mean it's true. So remember, these things are kind of infiltrating people's minds to where they now think that everything that's being said, they start believing it. Or a lot of times when someone says something and it's something that you want to believe, something that makes you feel good, you will kind of take that on and start to believe and absorb the information. But let's say it's a second date and that person maybe was watching some things that told them that that's what's supposed to happen. And you feel like they like you a lot. You guys have been having a lot of good conversations. This is your second date. They've been keeping in contact with you between the last date. Honestly, if you're getting to know somebody, if a man is serious about you, he's going to try to aim to go on a date with you once a week. Absolutely max once every 2 weeks. Like in the initial stages, like from when the first one and second one are scheduled, maybe max 2 weeks. But if he really liked you, he's probably gonna try to schedule for the following weekend or the following week. So now let's say that he is, he's looking at you. You just feel it. If you've been prayed up, you're gonna see it in his face that he wants to kiss you. Keep that distance, ignore, act like you don't notice, and then to say, oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I really enjoyed my date. Thank you. And then move on from there and take your behind home, okay? Don't linger there. Like, thank you so much. I appreciate you. That's another thing. Make sure you're appreciative about, going on these dates and stuff. Like, it makes somebody feel good. People, whenever you appreciate somebody or say that, they understand like, oh, okay, she enjoyed herself. She could be lying, but it doesn't seem like she's lying because she's telling that she appreciate the date, So say those things and then keep that interaction short and then, you know, be on your way. That's how to avoid it. And I'm telling you that from experience. Another thing, do not hold hands with them. Men are like a little bit different. When you start doing those physical touch, they want to go to the next step. Don't hold anybody's hand on the first, second date. Completely unnecessary. Would you hold somebody's hand when you were interviewing them? No, you would not. Don't touch them. Don't even let them touch you. If you feel like they're trying to like touch your waist, just like move a little bit. Don't make it awkward, but you know, continue the conversation, whatever you're talking about. Don't make it awkward. Just back up a little bit. And that's that. Do not hold anybody's hand. You don't know these people, okay? Because listen, if you hold somebody's hand on the date, they're gonna think, okay, at the end of the night, I'm gonna kiss her. We're holding hands. She wants to kiss me. Don't do that, okay? And then let's say you hold their hand at the end of the date. Okay, just know the next date they're gonna try to kiss you. It's just the way it works. So don't do it. Eliminate physical touch. That's gonna be the best way to avoid somebody kissing you when you don't want to be kissed. This brings me to my other point. People say sometimes that that men are bringing up conversations about sex and, you know, or they're trying to, you know, have sex with them or sleep with them. You have to make sure, one, you're consistent in who you are, make sure you have confidence, and make sure you're firm, pleasant. But firm and pleasant, you can be both. At least you know who you are, know what your beliefs are in terms of, you know, if they know you're Christian, they're probably gonna know what you stand for. If, you know, you're not cussing, you're not, you know, you're presenting yourself as a Christian. So from there, you want to just make sure that you're presenting yourself well, but at the same time, if you haven't held hands, if you haven't kissed the person, they're not going to ask you anything about sex. They're not even going to, a conversation's not going to come up. That type of conversations never came up with any of the 3 men that I was dating over a couple months. You know, like I said, no hand holding, no kissing. You know, you're a woman, control yourself. You're beautiful. You have a lot to offer. You're going to make a man very happy one day, your husband. So there's no rush for any of that. No rush for holding anybody's hand. No rush for any kiss. And definitely, you know, I've told you before, you should be waiting until marriage to sleep with your partner, your husband. And like I said, you should wait until you are officially with that person. I told you before, I don't believe in boyfriend and girlfriend, but what we call nowadays is boyfriend and girlfriend. That's the only time when you're exclusive with someone, when there should be any kiss at all. So for some people, exclusivity may just be when they get married. So like I mentioned before, there's been cases where, you know, people wait until marriage to actually have their first kiss. So yeah, hopefully that helped. I just wanted to go into depth about, you know, how to avoid men trying to kiss you on a first date or second date or third date. And then also how to keep somebody, how to prevent men from losing interest. So, and then let's say that you've done all that, no kissing, no touching. And then after that, the man loses interest. Okay, if you've done everything right in terms of what I mentioned about not letting a man lose interest in terms of being who you are, asking questions, being engaging, not overwhelming them with everything about your career, and of course, keeping those detailed things about your career if you're managerial and a director and all those things, keeping those things private. But that's for a different reason. If you've done all the things you're supposed to be doing, then they disengage. That's probably somebody who is after something that you're not willing to give. But that's really when you do a lot of the screening process through online, if this is something that you met online. But let's say you're not sure what the issue is. You're doing everything right. You know, you have on your profile your belief. You know, you have that you're a Christian. You wrote some things about yourself. You have all of your pictures current, without filters. I will start to analyze if it's happening frequently and you've already kind of gauged the person. You had like a phone conversation before the first date and they're, you know, what would I say, ghosting or no longer interested after like the first, second date. I wouldn't jump to thinking it's because they're after one thing. I would first analyze yourself. Once again, make sure you look the exact same. Make sure you're not 50 pounds heavier than your picture. Make sure you're the same weight the pictures were taken in the past month. 2 max. and then really try to see what type of conversations you're having, because a lot of it actually comes down to conversation. So hopefully that helped. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything that comes to mind in terms of what you'd like to have me answer regarding dating or life or anything like that. Have a wonderful day. Bye.